all you beautiful people. My name is Dee Soflin, and I'm starting a podcast called Let's Talk Rescue. This is going to be a short introductory podcast that I wanted to kind of put out just to give you an idea of what's going on, kind of maybe give you my background a little bit as to why I decided to make this happen. I'm a huge animal lover, big passion for animals. Pretty much been that way my entire life. I decided that I wanted to do two things in my life, and that was start an animal rescue and start a podcast that could kind of bring awareness and education, and then just share stories of different things that have happened during my time doing animal rescue, which started many years ago, decades, honestly. I am 63 years old. I am probably not your usual new podcaster, but it's something that I really felt like would be beneficial to the animal rescue community as well as myself. This is something that I just enjoy talking about animals. I enjoy, getting involved, trying to save whatever I can do to save. Constantly thought about doing a podcast. I've just never been one of those people that felt like I could do something like that, but I finally just thought I want to do that. And so about a year ago, I bought all the equipment. I had a full-time job. I worked in data management, solution consulting, really loved my job. And I thought, well, I could start a podcast on the side while I'm working my full-time position. And that was in March, actually February. So I started collecting all of the equipment that I needed and, doing some research and coming through to try and make it come to fruition. But one of the things that sort of threw a little wrench in that is that my position was eliminated. So that was pretty devastating to me because I loved my job. It was a very, very fulfilling job. So what I did is I sort of switched my priorities. I decided that I was going to start an animal rescue because that I could do and keep busy, so that I wasn't constantly let down, sad, trying to find a new job, because I just wasn't finding anything. And so I've applied for jobs, all from last year on, even through today, and just have had no luck. So starting the animal rescue, I felt like it was a way of giving back, keeping busy, and bringing something that I've wanted to do my entire life. But anyway, so the rescue is called Max Raven Animal Rescue. Just no affiliation whatsoever with the podcast. The rescue is completely separate from that. It's a nonprofit, which I could totally do a podcast on how to start a 501c3. It was a learning experience, but I'm the kind of person that I feel like, the more you learn, the more you challenge yourself and your brain. So few misses and hits on what I needed to do. I pulled a lot of people's expertise in and resources from them to try and get it done. Well, the rescue is running. It's running good. It's small. It's very small, but it's still, we do our part. We've taken in probably over 80 animals. This week we just pulled in 4 more dogs, and a couple more cats. So anyway, it's not affiliated, and so the rescue is up and running. And now I want to focus on the podcast because I feel like that'll benefit not only my rescue but other rescues. And just kind of originally wanted to do stories, which the happy ones, and unfortunately the ones that didn't end the way you really hoped that they would. So I've got a lot of people lined up to interview, and I've already interviewed a few to this point, but I want to put out this first intro podcast just to kind of give you an idea of what my thought is. Maybe if you have some feedback, things you'd like to see me interview about. I want to be educational. We have Google. I know we have all the different resources, but I just thought it might be a good resource, and to be able to see people and hear from them who actually have their boots on the ground and they're doing the work, and all voluntarily pretty much. It's just the way it pays. It doesn't pay financially. For me, it pays here. And I know that's how every rescue person feels. It pays here. And to be able to see an animal go from a horrible situation to the way it should have been in the first place for it is just so fulfilling. It's filled my bucket so many times that I guess it's just something I sort of got addicted to. Started fostering many years ago. I currently foster. I'm the president and the founder of Max Raven Animal Rescue. And Max Raven was named after, I have an affinity for Huskies. That's kind of my spirit breed. And I had a Husky named Max years ago. Had him for 11 years. He passed away about 3.5 years ago from a tumor under his front leg, and he passed away on the table while they were trying to remove the tumor. Which I would say, for me, I know that with people I've talked to, it seems like you have that one animal that was just your whole life, so to speak. And I think Max was that for me. Went through a lot of things together. He was my boy. He was my spirit dog, my soulmate of dogs. So I wanted to do something to honor him. So I started this rescue in his name. We've done a lot of good things so far. So that's pretty much what's going on with Max Raven Animal Rescue, and how this podcast came in next. I did an interview this past Friday that I'll be editing and getting up here real shortly about TNR, trap, neuter, spay, return. And I interviewed a couple of really wonderful women that been doing this for quite a while. One not as long as the other, but boy, you wouldn't know it to talk to her. It's kind of amazing when you get a hold of these people that are doing all of this work, for animals, and you realize that they're doing this not for any kind of financial gain. They're doing it for the animals 100%. And that's what I'm finding. I've interviewed them, so that interview will be coming up probably next. I'll be interviewing several people about just rescue stories that meant the most to them, or that stuck in their mind and heart the longest. And so I'll put together quite a few different ones. We'll have different themes, different episodes. And we got one, which I'm actually very excited about. I am vegan, actually. So I have one friend of mine that I've known for many years, a couple of decades. And she volunteers at a pig rescue in Kansas City. So I'll be getting her on a podcast here before too long, and she'll be going to that pig rescue and doing the interview from there. That way, at least you can kind of have a little look-see at where she goes every day and does her volunteering. She also fosters them, and she's just a real good person. I don't remember if I mentioned, but I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska, so she's just a little ways away. We've also got some veterinarians that I've reached out to, because I thought I could do a podcast on veterinarians and their perspective and what they see on their end. Because really, yes, they have to make money. It's their business. But at the same time, some of the things that they see are really, really very sad, and it affects them. And so I kind of wanted to get an idea of the kind of things they've seen, maybe some advice on different things. Another idea we have coming in the works is lost and found pages for animals. If you lose your cat or your dog, you can, it just is an extra avenue to go for people to kind of watch for your cat or dog if it gets out and you're unable to find it. We also want to talk about microchips at some point, and it kind of give you an idea of why that's so important to have. It's kind of one more way of making sure you always find your cat or dog, sort of resource for people to be able to reach out and if they find your cat or dog. So I guess that's mainly what I wanted to kind of put out there. And I hope you really enjoy this. I'm really enjoying doing it so far. I've never really been one of those people that like to be on video, but I pretty much do anything for animals. And I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to get better and better. So be patient, because I'm new at this part of it, and we'll get everything sort of squared away. At some point, I'd like to be able to do live interviews and have people maybe call in, but I just like to get the interviews out and get it known to people that we have a podcast coming up. And I would sure love to have this benefit other rescues. And by doing that, I think it's important to share, especially if you love this story, and if you love this podcast and you love the different stories we have. If you could share and subscribe to my podcast, that way we could, we can actually benefit other rescues. At some point, maybe bring in a rescue. Each rescue can bring in an animal that they just can't seem to find a home for, and they've had for a very long time in the rescue or the shelter. And that way we could reach a broader audience that may see this dog or cat and say, wow, I feel like that I need to adopt that cat or dog. So, we're just going to try and help as many people and animals as we can. Like I said, I really hope you enjoy it. I really hope you follow me, and feel free to send me emails with suggestions. I do have an email that you're able to email now. It's and I'll put it up on the screen. It's letstalkrescue@gmail.com. There will be a website coming. It's not up yet, but it will be. It's more important to get the podcasts up. So the website is sort of secondary. And I think that's pretty much the main things that I need to share at this point. And just so you know, because this will be the route, I'll be in my office doing these podcasts, but this is also, it doubles as a foster cat room. So I have a handful of cats in here that are up for adoption through my rescue. And so you'll get some live cat action walking across in front of me or peeking around the corner. They're very curious. Please subscribe, follow, share, tell all your friends and your family. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Thank you.